Hello and welcome to my home. I'm Thunderf00t. You may have heard of me. I'm somewhat famous on the YouTubes. You're probably wondering why I'm dressed like this. Well, it's quite simple really, seeing as I recently decided to tar every Muslim on the planet with the same extremist brush. I thought it would be appropriate for me to dress in a silly wig and gown, to give myself a false sense of authority and moral fortitude. I have invited you into my modest homestead today in order to put the record straight on a few things. Some of you lesser beings have suggested that I make no effort to distinguish between Islamic extremists and everyday Muslims who just want to live their lives and have no interest in undermining free speech. Well, let me tell you something. Although I'm clearly well versed in the sciences, and yes, this allows for total debunking of religion, after that I'm afraid my knowledge of the world around me becomes somewhat fuzzy. Yes, that's right folks, when it comes to the rich complexities of international relations and cultural issues I'm essentially fucktarded. But for those of you who have criticized me, I say this: I have developed a powerful tactic to debunk you all. It's called the la 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 I'm not listening strategy. At the end of the day, it boils down to this: as long as people are agreeing with me I'm happy, but the moment I make a major fuck up I'm quite happy to ignore it and hope that it just blows over. This posture has some distinct advantages. It allows me to declare the censoring of YouTube and Facebook in South Asia as a victory for free speech. Look, I have a piano. That means I'm cultured. Let us consider the Enlightenment for a minute. Although this was a great turning point in European history that allowed us to break away from the shackles of religion and to develop both culturally and technologically, I'm far too quick to assume that this somehow makes us fucking superior to everyone else. This assumption has allowed me to masturbate over the idea of shock and awe, or to put it in Bill Hicks' words, bombing the fuck out of a nation of little brown people. I seem far too willing to champion these events, although they are some of the worst war crimes of the 21st century, and for that I should be ashamed of myself. There's something about me I think you should understand. My ego is more inflated than Pat Condell's prostate gland. Let me explain. I'm actually quite a boring person, and for me to continue to expand my power base, I need a nemesis. America had the Soviet Union, and I had Venom Fang X. Now that both of these entities are gone, both America and myself needed new budgie men in order to continue to shove our shit around the world. The USA picked on Muslims, and so have I, in the form of Dawa Films, who although has some wacky views, is for all pretense and purpose a moderate. But using the la 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 strategy mentioned before, I was able to twist his words out of context to make him my new whipping boy, and thus the balance of power is restored. Don't you think it's interesting that when talking about Christians, I was able to distinguish between moderates and extremists, yet for some reason I seem unwilling to do this with Muslims? Isn't that odd? I wonder what that says about me. Maybe I should stop being such a coward and stop targeting all Muslims, and maybe I should mention the actual causes behind Islamic extremism. I actually seem to think that desperate young men and women in Palestine and other places blow themselves up solely because of religious conviction. It certainly can't have anything to do with the appalling racist system in Israel or the imperialistic nature of the so-called enlightened nations. No, I only see things in black and white. Sorry. I have the power to channel other people's thoughts directly into my brain and out of my mouth, and Sandline has something he wishes to share. Thunderf00t, your rhetoric and tired ideas make you sound almost as insane as the wacky extremists you rail against. Your words are dangerous, and there are many others who think like you, or worse, some of which are even willing to put their words into action. The last thing we atheists should want to see are pogroms against innocent Muslims in Europe. Why don't you just make a video apologizing for not making a distinction between moderates and extremists, and maybe you can regain some of the respect you have lost? Or are you still busy declaring victory? Although you will probably never see this video, let me give you the opportunity to take my words out of context. In fact, just copy and paste the following words into whatever sentence and context you want. Kill, jihad, Thunderf00t, go to hell, Jesus, freedom of speech, sleeping giant, etc. Best wishes, Thunderf00t.